Let's make bag ifunanya in clear white. So this is the materials needed. We have our fish line 0.70, our clear white sugar beads size 8, then we have our scissors, then I have my nail clipper. You'll see the use of this in the video, so let's get right into it. So first off, I'm going to cut out my fish line to my desired length. Ensure that you cut out the line that you can manage, something you can handle, to ensure that your bags are steady. You don't want a wobbly matting. So please note, I'll be using the loop method in my matting. You'll get to see what that is in the course of matting. So I'll be starting off with 4 beads. I'm going to be inserting the beads into my fish line, and on the 4th bead I'm going to create my loop for the loop method. Then I'm going to be pulling my fishing line into that loop to get my first row of circles of 4. So that's what you do here first. Make your circles of 4 with your 4 beads and intersecting with the last bead. So once this is done, you're going to continue by adding 2 beads to each part of the fish line, then 1 to intersect, which will give us a total of 3 beads. So 2 beads on each fish line, then 1 bead in the center to intersect. Since I'm using the loop method, I'm going to put the line on the bead on one line and create a loop for my other line to go in. Then I pull firmly. The reason why I use this method is it keeps my beads steady, so they are not going about while I am working. So we keep at this 3 beads to create circles of 4. We continue with the same method, repeating the same method again. 2 beads and 1 to cross, just as you see me doing here. So I'm going to keep at this, making circles of 4 till I get to 11 lines. So now I'm on my 10th line. On my 10th line, as you can see here, I put 2 beads, and now I'm going to intersect with my last bead to make my 10th circle of 4. Then moving on to my 11th circle of 4, that's my 11th line, I'm going to put 3 beads on one line. In this case, I'm using my left hand. Depending on whichever hand you choose to use, I'm going to be turning to the right. So I'm putting my beads to my left hand, creating my loop, then passing my other line into my loop and pulling firmly. This way my line will turn to the side so that I can create my next rows of circles of 4s for my next line. So to do this, I'm going to be using 3 beads. I'm going to be passing 3 beads into my fish line. Then I will cross with the last 3rd bead, create a loop, and feed in my other fish line. Once this is done, I have my new circle of 4 for my second row. So now I'm going to keep passing the fish line, which is closest to the bead, into the bead next to it. Once that is done, I'm going to be making use of 2 beads now. So on my right hand, I'm going to be putting 2 beads, creating a loop in my second bead and passing my fish line through it and pulling on it to give me my next circle of 4. So I'm going to continue this pattern. I pass my fish line into the next bead facing it, put in 2 beads, create my loop and pass my other fishing line through it. So I'm going to keep at this till I get to the end of my matting, of my first line matting, till I get to the 11th line from my first matting. So I'm just going to keep at it, this method, repeating it till I get to that line. So once I get to the last line, I'm going to do the same thing. Pass my fish line, put 2 beads and create a loop, then pass my line into that loop. So from this point, I'm increasing my beading line. So on this line, I'm going to have 12 lines. Then the next line, I'm going to have 13 lines. So to have 12 lines on this line, I'm just going to add beads, 3 beads into one part of my line. That's on the left side, because I'll be turning to the right like I started from the beginning. And I'm going to feed in my fishing line and pull. That way now I have 12 lines. You can see I just increased the line. So now I'm going to make the next line 13 lines, and to do that, I'm going to feed in the fishing line facing upwards. I'm going to feed it in with 3 beads, 4 beads actually. The last bead is going to be the bead in which I'm going to pass my fishing line now to the first bead that I feed to the line. As you can see, I put 4 beads. The first bead I put in the line, I'm going to pass my fishing line through it and pull. That way I've created circles of 4 at the top. That's me adding. Then now I'm going to put 2 beads on the line that's facing sideways. That's the line I passed into that bead. I'm going to put 2 beads in it, then intersect it with my other line to create my second line. So that's what you see me doing here. I put 2 beads, then I pull. Now as you can see, I have 1 line on top of my other 12, then the 12th line. So I have 2 rows on 12, 2 rows on 11, and 1 row on the 13th line. So I'm going to keep doing that, passing my line into the next bead facing it, then putting 2 beads and creating a loop and passing my fishing line into that loop to create my next circles of 4. So I'm going to keep at this till I get to the bottom part of my matting process. So feeding my fishing line, creating a loop and pulling firmly. So the reason for this loop again is to ensure that my beads are secure and I don't have them moving around so much. So I'll keep at it again, 2 beads, create a loop and feed my other line into it. As you can see me doing here, it's a very simple process. If you have any questions, you can put that in the comment section. Now I've gotten to the end of that matting, so I'm going to pass my line into the next bead. To turn around, I'm going to put beads into the line facing downwards. So 2 beads, create my loop and pass my fishing line into it. So from this point now, I'm going to be making more circles of 13 rows. So I'm going to create that row 4 times. So now I'm going to put 3 beads to turn my fishing line to be able to create my next row of matting and pull. Once this is done, I'm going to keep matting till I get to my 13th line on this row. So from this point, we are no longer adding. Our first row have 11 circles of 4, the next row has 12 circles of 4, then the next row has 13 circles of 4. So for the 13 circles of 4, we are going to have that row 4 times. We are going to repeat that row 4 times. Please note, we are repeating that row 4 times, and that's what you're going to see me doing in this video. So I'm repeating the same process by passing my fishing line into the bead facing it, putting 2 beads, then crossing with the last bead I put on my fishing line. So I'm going to keep at this till I get to the end of that line. So just 2 beads, cross with 1, continue like this, passing your fishing line till you get to the end of your line. So from this point now, I'm going to put 2 beads on top, passing my line into that bead and pulling firmly. I'm passing my line into my loop, then I'm going to pull firmly. So now I have 2 rows of my circles of 13. So I'm going to repeat this till I have 4 rows of my circle of 13. Once you get to the 4th row on the lines of 13 circles of 4, I've gotten to that part now. Once I get here now, the next step is to pass my fishing line into the last bead to make my 13 lines on that 4th row, to make the 13th line. Once I do that, I'm going to put 2 beads on the fishing line facing upwards. Now I'm going, instead of creating a loop, I'm going to pass my line into the next bead under, as you can see me doing here. The reason why I'm doing this is because from this point we are going to be decreasing the line. We are going to be decreasing the line. So we had 11 first, 12, then 13. Now we are going back to 12. So to do that now, I'm just, instead of creating a loop then having to pass down, I passed it into the bead under. Now I'm going to pass the line into the next bead. I'm trying to reduce my line so that I can have my fishing line facing the side of the bead that is on the 2nd row, on the 12th row. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to pass into the next bead. Just follow the process as you can see here. If you don't understand, you can rewind the video or make it slower so that you see what I'm doing. Once I pass that line into the bead, now I'm going to cross my 2 lines into the beads that is facing there. That's the 2nd bead on that line, so that I'm now on the 12th row. My fishing line is now on the 12th row of that 13 lines of my 4th row, as you can see me doing here. I hope you understand. So once I have my fishing line on this line, on this bead, I'm going to go back to counting. Now I'm going to have 12 rows. So next thing I'm going to do is to add 3 beads to my fishing line facing upwards. I'm going to create my loop and cross. So as you can see here now, I have my first line. I've decreased my line. It's no longer on the 13th row, it's on the 12th row. So I'm going to keep at this till I get to the bottom part of my matting. 2 beads and cross with 1. So I'm going to keep at this, passing my line into the next bead, then adding 2 beads and crossing with 1. You are going to keep at this till you get to the bottom of your row. So I'm just going to keep at this method, passing my line into the next bead, adding 2 beads and creating a loop with my my 2nd bead and putting my fishing line to intersect. So I'm just going to continue with this till I get to the end of that row. So once that is done, I'm going to start reducing from this point. From that my matting, for this row we are just going to be making circles of 7, circles of 4 7 times on this row. So I'm adding a new fishing line because my fishing line has finished. If you need a video showing how to pass your fishing line, because I do not tie, I prefer to pass my fishing line to give my matting a very steady and fine finishing. So if you need a video on that, please drop that in the comment section, then I will teach you how to pass your fishing line. But for now I'm adding a new fishing line, and on this line I'm going to be creating circles of 4 7 times. So this row is going to be a 7 line row. So I'm just going to continue the same way. 2 beads, create a loop and cross my line. So for this stage, we are trying to create the other half of our heart shape. If you look at it, you might not be able to tell now, but once we keep at it, you will see that we've gotten to the other half of our heart shape. We're just going to keep at it, 2 beads and intersect with 1. You continue on this till you get to the 7th line. Okay, now so once I've gotten to my 6th line, on my 7th line I'm going to put 2 beads on the other side of my fishing line, creating a loop so that I can turn my line around to face out. I'm still following the right side, I'm still turning to the right. So now once I have this 7, as you can see here, once I'm on my 7th line, you can see I already have half of my love heart shape. So from this point now, I'm going to keep marking. I'm going to have these circles of 4 7 times. I'm going to create this line 4 times. So to turn around, I put 3 beads on my fishing line, cross with the last one, and now I'm passing my line into the next bead. Now I'm going to have 2 beads on my fishing line facing outside and crossing with the last bead which I added to that line. Once this is done, I'm going to keep at it till I get to the 4th line. Okay, now so once I get to this 4th row, I'm going to pass my fishing line to close it up. From this line now, I'm going to be decreasing. So I'm going to put 2 beads like I did the last time, passing my line into the next bead because I'm trying to decrease on this row. I'm going to pass my line till my fishing line intersects on the 2nd line of this rows of 7. So I'm passing my line back, as you can see me doing here, just like we did the first time when we were trying to reduce it to the 12th row. Then I'm going to intersect in this bead that my 2 lines are facing. So once this is done, now from this row I'm going to put 3 beads into my fishing line facing downwards, cross with the last bead. Now I'm going to be making rows of 6 on this line. So from this point, I'm just going to be decreasing. So this line, we're going to have rows of 6. Then on the next row, we are going to have rows of 5. As you can see me doing here. Then the last one will be rows of 4. So I'm just doing like we've been doing, repeating the same step, putting 2 beads on one side of my fishing line and crossing with the 2nd bead which I put. I'm going to keep at this. So as you can see, it's not a stressful process. I like the loop method because it keeps my beads steady, nothing is moving around, and I can focus on where I'm going next. So I'm putting 2 beads and crossing with the last bead which I put. So once I get to the top now, I'm going to be putting 2 beads on the other line, the line facing up. So I'm putting 2 beads. So like I told you, from this row I'm going to be decreasing because the next is going to give me 5 beads. So now after putting my 2 beads, I'm passing my line through the bead under, then through the beads on the side, just like I did when I wanted to reduce the line for my 6th row. That's what I'm doing here. Once I've done that, once I've gotten my bead line into that bead, I'm going to intersect with the next bead. You can see you might have a lot of difficulty passing your line. So most times this is why you need to use the right fishing line so that you can pass your line very well. Most times you might most of the holes on the bead might be a little too small. If you have a drilling machine, good, but if you don't, you might want to use a convenient fishing line so that you can pass. So I've decreased my line on this row now. I'm just counting to ensure that I have the same number of beads on each side. Now I'm going to put 3 beads and intersect with my 3rd bead so that I can turn my line around to create my next row of 5 beads. So I'm going to keep at this till I get to the 4th bead on this row. So after you have 6, the next thing you have is 4, because I'm going to be stopping on the 4th line on this bead. So as you can see me doing here, just to ensure that I have my heart shape. So 2 beads and cross, as you can see me doing here. Just keep at it like you've been doing, but we are going to be stopping at this line. So from here I'm going to pass my fishing line back, because I'm ending it on this row. I'm putting 2 beads, I'm ending it on that row to create circles of 4 times, as you can see here. So now I have my heart shaped, looking all beautiful. We are going to repeat this same pattern again to create 2 buds. You are going to have 2 buds of bead. So now to join our 2 buds of bead is what you see me doing here. I'm going to create edge of circles of 4 around it. I'm going to be creating edge of circles of 4 around it. So what I'm going to do now is, after passing my fishing line into that first bead at the top of my circles of 4, I'm going to put 3 beads, cross with the last bead, still using my loop method. Yes, so that I can create the edge where I'm going to use to join my 2 buds together. That is my 2 hearts together. So once I pass my line again, I put 2 beads, and cross. So I'm going to keep at this till I've made circles of 4 on that first 4 lines at the top, like you saw me counting at the beginning of this video. So once we get to the sides of our heart shape, it can be a little bit tricky because it's in like a zigzag pattern. But don't worry, you just need to ensure that you are passing your line into the next bead. Once you pass your line into the next bead, you know you're just going to add 2 beads and cross. So it might be tricky, but you just need to pay attention. So you see me now, I'm going to be passing into the next bead that's facing it, and that bead is facing downwards, so I'm going to be passing my line into it. Once my line is passed properly, I'm going to be putting 2 beads. Yes, as you can see me here, 2 beads, and crossing with the last bead. So I'm just going to keep at this for a few more. As you can see, it's in a zigzag pattern. The next bead is facing sideways, so I'm going to pass into that bead that is facing sideways. Put 2 beads and cross with the last bead. I'm going to keep at this till I get round my heart. I'm just going to keep at this, passing it into the next bead, putting 2 beads. It's as simple as that, and crossing with the last bead. I'm trying to make this video as detailed as possible. I hope you understand this process. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. So I'm passing into the next bead. Just ensure this part might go in a zigzag manner. Just ensure that you are passing it into the next bead that is facing your fish line. 2 beads, then I'll cross with the last bead. So I'm done with my zigzag pattern. From now I'm just going to go straight. I'm going to do it till I finish up on my love, till I have like a round edge around my love, which I'm going to use to attach my 2 love heart frames. You are going to see me do that now. I'm building around my love so that I can use to create my cover. So I'm going to keep at this till I get round my frame. You can do this. This is going to determine the width of your bag opening, so you can do it however how long you want it to be. So I'm just going to have 4 lines for mine. I've done 2 here, so I'm going to do 1 on this side, then the last joining will make it 4 into the other side. Now I'm done with that. I'm going to be joining my 2 hearts together. So to do that, I'm going to take a new fish line and I'm going to put 1 bead into the fishing line facing upwards. Then I'm going to pass it into the bead on the other side of my heart frame, the first bead on the other side of my heart frame. Then I'm going to put 1 bead and use it to cross, as you can see me doing here. I hope you understand this process. If you have any questions, please send a message in the comment section and I will respond to you. So now I'm going to be passing my fishing line into the 2 beads that are at the bottom part, like where my fishing line is facing, the beads my fishing line are facing. I'm going to pass my fishing line into them and take 1 bead to cross. So you are just going to keep at this process. You pass your fishing line into the beads that is facing it, then 1 bead to cross. That way you are going to close up your frame for your heart shape. So I'm going to keep at this, passing my fishing line into the next bead that's facing it, then crossing. Please note that when you get to the zigzag part, it's going to be a bit tricky, but just ensure that you are passing it into the next bead. Ensure you are passing it into the next bead and crossing. So I'm going to keep at this till I close up my bead round. I'm going to keep at this round till I close up my bead. At this till I get to the end. Now I'm at the end. Just a quick video showing my face, the struggles. I'm going to cover it up, and this is the final result. You can add a pouch. I made the hand outside this video. If you want a video tutorial on how to make the hand of this bag and attach it, let me know. You can make different types of hand. If you want a detailed tutorial on this exact handle for this bag and how to make it and how to attach it to the bag, please drop a comment